guys, what's up? This is Falene from Six Blue Warriors. Today, I want to talk about what it is that it takes to qualify for SSI. There's two different things to take into consideration when the question comes up if you qualify for SSI or not. Number one is the disability and how severe it is. So things they're going to be looking for is whatever is causing problems for the individual to be able to have a normal life. For example, if you have a 5-year-old who's not potty trained yet, that's definitely considered in the disability range. Severely impaired communication skills, that definitely inhibits their ability to have regular interactions with people, and it inhibits their ability to progress in school, those kinds of things. But it doesn't always have to be that severe as that you can't talk or that you can't, those are just the easy ones to talk about. So you have to consider the severity of the disability to see if your child would qualify for SSI. But then the second thing you have to consider is from a financial perspective, because SSI does sit down and they look at your income and your assets. Those are the two things that they take a look at to see if you qualify from a financial perspective for an SSI payment. Most people these days could qualify for SSI based off of just their regular income. The thing that disqualifies a lot of people from SSI are their assets. Now, certain things SSI does not take into account. For example, the home you live in. Doesn't matter how much of it's paid off. Doesn't matter what kind of equity you have in it. It doesn't matter how much you paid for it, how much it's worth. The home you live in does not count as an asset. Number two, they do not count one car. So it doesn't matter how much you owe on that car. For example, if it's paid off, they still don't count one car. And the third thing that they take into consideration is things like a savings account or additional income sources like a rental property, or if you own more than one car, or if you own like a camper or a boat or anything like that, then those things can be counted against you. They do not count retirement accounts. So if you have a 401k, then any money that you put into that 401k, that doesn't count against you. They do not use, they want to know if you have those things, so they'll ask you about it and what the approximate value is, but it doesn't count against you for SSI. It doesn't count as an asset. So those are some things to take into consideration when you are considering if you qualify for SSI or not. So there are some ways to work around with assets. For example, we have our van that's paid for. The SSI doesn't count. But then we leased a vehicle that my husband uses for going back and forth to work, but that does not count as an asset for us because we're basically renting a car. So it doesn't count as an asset. The other thing that we did is at one point we had our minivan that we have that's paid off, but we also had a 1985 Chevy S10, which Kelly Blue Book said was worth $0. So therefore, it didn't count as an asset either. It was a great truck. It was in great mechanical condition. It was really old. It had some rust stains and rust spots on the body of it and things like that. So, but it was worth a lot to us because we were able to still drive it around and get a lot done, but it didn't really count against us as an asset for SSI. So those are some ideas as far as with cars that you can take into consideration. And like I said, with one car, it doesn't matter how much of it's paid for. So if you have a minivan that you're still making payments on and you have a second car that's paid for, if, for example, you sell your second car and take all of the money that you make from that sale and put it onto your car that you want to keep, then it doesn't matter if you have that car paid off or not. It doesn't count against you. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying not to lose you guys. We were fortunate enough not to have to worry about things like a boat or a camper or a third vehicle or anything like that. We don't have to worry about those assets causing a problem for us. Those are the kinds of things that usually end up keeping people from qualifying for SSI. Those are some things to take into consideration when you're trying to figure out if you want to apply for SSI and if you'd qualify for it or not. Now, the other thing that a lot of people want to know is, well, what kind of income and what kind of payment would I qualify for depending on our family? These are just rough estimates. You know, you're obviously going to have to take into consideration what's going on with your own family and stuff, but if you have a family of 5 and because they take that into consideration, how many people are in your family and how many people have a disability in your family. So when we first applied for SSI, we were a family of 5 and we were making $35,000 a year approximately. And at that size of our family and at that annual income, we qualified for the full amount of the SSI payment, which at the time was $680 a month per child. And since we have 2 children that qualify for SSI, then you get the payment that's $680 for one child and $680 for the other child. As we got older and my husband stayed at his job longer and I was working a couple of days a week, an income of approximately $50,000 with the same 5-member family still qualified for a payment. Now, it was not the $680 a month. It was more like $120 a month per child. But as long as you qualify for at least $1 of a payment, then your child gets to keep Medicaid, which is the big thing for us, because as long as they have Medicaid, then Medicaid pays for ABA therapy and all the other things that is what really costs a whole lot of money. Hopefully that helps give you some guidelines as to where your income is, what your assets are, to see if it's worth it for you to apply for SSI. And like I said, it's based off of your income. It can fluctuate, you know, if you get bonuses or if you get a raise or anything like that, then your payment will go down or go up accordingly. So SSI has been a great thing for us in our family. It's been really helpful. It's made it easier for me to be able to work part-time and be able to be home with the kids more so that I can be more involved with their therapy and with school and those kinds of things. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave your questions down in the comment section. I'd be happy to get back with you and answer whatever questions I can for you. And if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like or subscribe. And please always feel free to share these videos with anyone you think could be helped by them. Because that's the whole point of this channel, is trying to get the information out there to help the people who are struggling with these kinds of issues in their day-to-day life. So I hope you guys have a good night and we'll talk to you later. Bye.